Yo, what up, Lucid Crew? Welcome back to the channel. I am Lucid Rob, and if this is your first time here, we're gonna watch videos. That's it. That's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna watch. There's not gonna be any talking, no commentary, and just enjoy what's here. That's not what's gonna happen at all. It's well, that is gonna happen, but we're gonna look at things rationally and logically, and try to, I'm gonna give my input. And if you agree with me, you can comment and elaborate on the ideas that we share. And if you disagree with me, you can comment and let me know why you disagree and help educate me and give me a better idea of these things that I'm wrong about. Either way, I accept it all. Just don't be an asshole. Or be an asshole. Whatever. You do you, man. But let's stop fucking talking and let's start watching the videos.
These gentlemen, what they're seeing are 7-foot-tall entities that are arrayed in silver armored bodysuits. The gentleman makes reference to the Green Goblin from Spider-Man. Sometimes they're saying also that they're dressed in cloaks with hoods. These entities apparently have discs on the bottom of their shoes that project a red light and that enable them to float off the ground, and they can also lift off into the air. When the villagers fire at these entities, the entities are apparently bulletproof and they just disappear or they float off into the jungle. That's what they're saying. And the way that they're describing these entities disappearing is reminiscent of the Predator from the movie.
Dude, I said in a video yesterday when I was talking about this and saying they were like cloaked and shit. I think that was my exact response. Is like these villagers are fighting predators. What do you think this is? You think this is a big psyop? You think this is part of Project Bluebeam? You think these are like people in like suits going in here and fucking with these people? You think it's extraterrestrials from outer space coming down here and doing things? Do you think it's maybe inner Earth people coming out, highly advanced technology, trying to take back the land or protect the Earth? I don't know. These villagers are under attack by something. What do you think it is?
You cannot move water around in your body or retain it in the right compartments, inside your blood vessels, inside your tissues, inside the cells. You can't keep things in the right compartment without sodium chloride. The chief cells in your stomach cannot make stomach acid without salt. Okay? Salt is the raw material. Sodium chloride is the raw material to make hydrochloric acid. Now, two things have happened because of this terrible criminal advice that doctors have given. It's criminal. Anybody else do this to the American people, they'd be put in jail for a life. Some of them would be executed because of the number of people who are killed over this. Right? Salt is required to make stomach acid. You don't have enough stomach acid, you get reflux. Incorrectly called acid reflux. It's reflux. Reflux is caused by insufficient amounts of stomach acid. Not too much stomach acid. So doctors have even named it the wrong thing, right? And basically, you get reflux when you don't have enough stomach acid to keep your stomach environment sterile. So yeast begin to grow in there, so you eat carbohydrates and sugar. They ferment that, produce gas. Heartburn, pressure, reflux. Because you have all these things growing in your stomach. Okay, when you get a pH too high, you get a pH above 4, all these things begin to grow. You have a pH under 1, your pepsin works to digest proteins, and you can absorb minerals, you can absorb B12. Your pH gets above 2, 2.5, you can't do that. Okay, so you're in trouble. I mean, you can take tons of iron supplementation, and if you don't have any stomach acid, you can't absorb iron. Now, here comes the most terrible thing that's happened to America because of this inappropriate advice. Well, there's two things. One, you go back to 1995, 750 people died during a triple-digit heat wave in Chicago. It was a 2-week heat wave, 1995, I believe it was. 750 people died here in Chicago, and thousands of people fell out with heat stroke. The first thing they give them intravenously on the way to the hospital to get heat stroke is saline solution, which is salt water, yeah. And it's absolutely criminal that these 750 people who died were all ones who were on a salt-restricted diet. They're all seniors who were on a salt-restricted diet. They died of heat stroke because these doctors didn't have the courtesy to call these people up in good manners, just to call up and say, look, whether you believe in the salt-restricted diet or not, right now you need to put a couple of tablespoons of salt in a gallon of water, be sipping on that until the heat wave goes away. But they didn't do that. And so all those people who died of heat stroke were under the care of doctors who were on a restricted salt diet. Those doctors should be put in jail. Okay, for almost like the same thing as vehicular homicide, the same type of thing as manslaughter, right? Type of thing. Then here comes the big one. Right now,
some of the most physically fit, healthy, middle-aged people I know, like good friends of mine. I mean, I'm 37. Am I 37? I'm 37. I don't know why it was so hard to remember that. I'm 37, and I think I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. I was training for a bodybuilding competition back in like 2000 fucking, I don't know, 17 maybe 15, something like that. And I'm still in better shape now than I was then. I'm not as like chiseled, right? Like I have a higher body fat percentage and stuff, and I'm probably not as strong as I was then. But I'm in the best shape I've ever been right now, and myself, including these other people I'm talking about, my friends who are like professional athletes in like combat sports and volleyball and have like high fats, like meat, protein, like diets that are essentially the complete opposite of what general doctors are telling people to have in their diet. I don't know, man. I don't have to tell you that the pharmaceutical company and probably a lot of medical associations don't have our best interests in mind.
Let me first say I'm not a racist, okay? But men go to war and women and children flee war. Where are all the women and children, please? Everybody that's coming over are fighting age men. They're soldiers. Now, are they there to protect us, or are they there to round us up? What are these immigration centers for if we're not using them? What are all these new prisons for if we're not using them? Prisoners are being released early, on tag. What are the FEMA camps built for? The largest one can accommodate 2 million people. But where the hell do they expect to find 2 million people? And more importantly, why? There's something else going on they're not telling us about, because it's cataclysmic. And we should be told. We should be allowed to make preparations. Putin, who's supposed to be the bad guy, has made preparations for every single one of his citizens, man, woman and child. But what are our governments doing for us? Absolutely nothing. So you want to know what immigration is really all about? Ask them, because they're working with the SAS. They're working with our military. They are soldiers. That's my view. Why is it that our own veterans are living on the streets? Why our own people are living on the streets? And yet these people can come over and live in hotels and get £175 a week. That's more than our unemployed get, because they're on the payroll. There is something being planned, and it's not good. Not good at all. For any of us. And I said before, where are all the women and children? Men go to war. Women and children flee war. Why are they coming here? There's no war here. Why aren't they fighting for their own countries? Why are they coming here? And why are we accommodating them when we're not even accommodating our own people?
Man, that's a very deep, very controversial topic. I don't really like to get into politics, but I am a patriotic person. I do live in the United States, and the fact that I am born and raised here, I would obviously like to see what's best for the United States a priority when it comes to the things that we within the United States do. I think that's pretty reasonable. That doesn't mean do things at the expense of other countries. That doesn't mean start shit with other countries to take advantage of their resources or anything. Just within, our country, we should be making decisions that help us and benefit us within our country. I don't really know what to say about it. Like I said, I like to comment on things that I have like some idea of. I like to ask questions about the things that I don't know much about, and this is definitely one of those things I don't know much about. This is too big of a deal to just be speculative of, so I don't want to do that. So you tell me what you think about this whole thing, I guess, below in the comments.
Something very strange happened to TikToker by the name of Alfred, not Alfredo. Before going to sleep, he noticed something very strange on his wall. He's able to see images upside down of his neighbors. A whole projection of his neighbor's house on his wall. Let's check out the video and let me know what you guys think. Pay close attention.
Okay, so I noticed this right here and I was like, why does this look like bushes? And then I realized, I thought this was just like the curtains, the little curtain square right there. And then I was like, you could see the cars drive by, and I just figured it was just lights. And then I just happened to turn the camera upside down, and I realized that's my neighbor's house. That's their car. This is the sky. You can see the cars. Let's see if a car drives by. You can see John. That's John walking across. You can see his pants. But like it's in color.
Guy's just full of shit and has a projector set up and is projecting it on his wall for TikTok. You let me know what you think of that one. If there is a scientific explanation for this one, please let me know below, because I'm drawing a blank here.
Have you heard of Sandra Bullock and Oprah's skin routine? It is absolutely disturbing.
Is one of Oprah's favorites. She says it's a miracle fountain of youth and her magic wrinkle cure. So I'm going to put a little on your hand.
I'll do that. Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're going to rub it right in.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human.
Look, the wrinkles has just disappeared. I can't even ball my hand up.
So it's made from human foreskin.
What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
Nah, this is just wrong on every single level. Did you just hear what Ellen DeGenerate said?
That's pretty fucking wild, dude. I was trying to approach it from a little more stern, straight face, but that's fucking wild, dude. Holy shit. I know we use stem cells from, like, I don't know what words I can fucking say on YouTube. I'm new to this still. I don't know. Stem cells. We use stem cells to, you know, cure things like injuries and stuff like that. Can I even say the word foreskin? I just said it. Whatever. We're gonna try. Let's hope this works. So does that just make circumcision like a big conspiracy? Like, because it used to be a religious thing, and then it was done for like cleanliness, and then it was just done because it was social norm, and now it's just a conspiracy for money making.
Did you see the Brazil carnival?
Is it the demonic one?
Yeah, so I guess it was purposely to like make fun of God.
Wow.
They had big demon statue. They had God crawling on the pavement, and then there was people dressed as the demon, and they were poking at him, right? They even had one guy who's dressed up as God hanging from one of the blimps. He lost sense of all his body parts and shit like that. That's how bad it got. Right after, God sent a flood. A bunch of people were displaced in Brazil. A bunch of people were homeless in Brazil. This is Brazil's like world record of rain that they got.
Damn.
Yeah. The big Rio de Janeiro statue, like this, it got struck. There's pictures of it got struck by lightning. He's powerful, fam. I think there's a quote is like, God will not take so much mockery of him.
I would never dare to do that shit on things that you don't understand. Like, let's say there's another religion, like, and you fuck up the ritual. It probably has some negative effects on you, bro.
And on the seventh day, God said, "Thou shalt fuck around, and thou shalt find out."
It literally looks like a zombie apocalypse has begun in the US right now. Eerie footage is coming out of Philadelphia this week showing hordes of people slouched over but still standing, seemingly conscious and unconscious at the same time. One video walked through the crowded sidewalk with tents, people sat in camping chairs, empty needle packets on the floor, showing a devastating side of America that has quickly spiraled into an epidemic. The thing that's turning these people into these zombie-like figures is a newer drug sweeping US cities called xylazine, or better known as tranq. It's intended to sedate larger animals like cows and horses, but more recently, people have begun abusing it because of the unique high it gives. Unfortunately, it also brings horrific side effects, including raw wounds that spread rapidly and can result in rotting flesh or amputation if left untreated. In fact, the drug is so potent that the White House recently declared it an emerging threat. And according to a 2022 report, xylazine has now been discovered in 36 states.
All right, so I am not going to comment on my opinion on this because I don't know, and I talk about my former drug use and addiction all the time and stuff, but I'm going to leave this up to you to give me an answer here. Do you think cases like this were basically orchestrated to just have this drug like released? Because I think it would take a long time for someone to just find this or get prescribe this for some reason, or get the idea one day to just be like, oh, this is for horses, let's try it on us, and then for the word to just like word of mouth spread across the country, like, oh, this shit'll fuck you up. I feel like it would take a long time for that, and it could have very well been that, but I feel like for like things that just come out of nowhere like this, it has to be kind of like enabled.
Bruh, y'all cannot make this up. Scientists revived 48,500-year-old zombie virus buried in the ice, and this was all discovered by like French scientists. My question is though, what in the Resident Evil, World War Z, The Walking Dead type BS is this? Y'all really trying to make an apocalypse happen, ain't y'all? Y'all gonna mess around and unleash the T-virus. It's all fun and games till the zombies start running like in Call of Duty. You know what would be worse? What if they were the clickers, bruh? At that point, if that would have happened, just take me off this earth. Either put it back where y'all found it or destroy it, because I'm not having it. I'm just saying.
Honestly, I'm all for researching things to learn from them, because you learn about things in order to learn how to prevent it if it becomes an issue again. But dude, if something's been frozen that long, we haven't had to worry about it, just freeze that shit. Just put it back in the freezer, dude. Put it in an ice cube tray, write a post-it note, do not touch, write like your name on it like it's in your work refrigerator, Dan's zombie ice, do not touch, or like lick it so nobody else eats it, You know, do something to keep everyone away from it and just put that shit back, because there's just some things we don't need to be fucking with, man.
Speaking of almost dying,
yeah,
did you know that there's 3 things that will be revealed after our deaths that exist now?
What do you mean?
What?
There is a letter from Queen Elizabeth written to the mayor of Sydney, and she says, please don't open this letter until 2085. It's being held in a like secret vault in Sydney, Australia.
What could be that important?
Don't know. The sign Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth.
That's insane.
Is it going to be like something big? But then there's a movie called 100 Years, the movie you'll never see, starring John Malkovich, and it's to be released in theaters or to the public in 2115.
Really?
What if they know exactly what happens to us?
What if John Malkovich is a time traveler?
Weird.
And then the last thing, which was super weird, Jackie Kennedy's bloody pink suit. It's been held in a vault, secret, like no one's allowed to see it. And they said they will release it to the public October 26, 2103.
Why? Why?
Don't know.
Alien blood.
Yeah, that's really fucking strange. I think more than any of those, the thing that interests me the most is Queen Elizabeth's note. It sounds like that time frame, she would want the next generation, like her kids and potentially grandkids, to not have to deal with the consequences of whatever she reveals. Maybe it's something big, man.
In the earth, there's something called synchronic lines or ley lines, and they work like an underground river passageways of basically energy, magnetism, geomagnetism. And so they cross a certain point. This is what you call the earth grid. There is also a grid that comes from the sun. Some people call that the ascension grid. That's more like a cosmological grid, which is a form of energy and information and memory. Whereas in the earth, these lines, there's a reason why these lines are crossing, and they kind of hold the energetic integrity of the actual planet. And so when they cross, they create, for a metaphysical mindset, basically a portal. A portal is another word for a doorway. So when you're sensitive to energy, these anomalies become basically an alchemical opportunity to reach states of consciousness where you can communicate with higher intelligence. You can regenerate your body.
You guys let me know what you think about that, because I'm not, when it comes to the whole energy thing, I'm just not real big on it. I don't really look too much into it. I realize that everything is energy. I'm open to the idea of, you know, good energy, bad energy, sound waves making you feel good or bad. But I don't know, it just hasn't really interested me enough to really look into deeper. So if you have any opinions on that or any insight info, drop it in the comments for me and share.
Imagine I have a beautiful tree that's filled with oranges. And I ask myself, what is the orange made of? How do I answer that question? Well, I want to look deeply inside the orange, so I magnify it. And I magnify it again. And if I keep on doing it, deep inside, sooner or later, I begin to see molecules come into view. But molecules are not the end of the story, because the molecules, I can enlarge them. And if I make them big enough deep inside, I begin to see atoms. Atoms are not the end of the story too, because we have electrons zooming around the nucleus. Deep inside, mostly empty space in the atom, but deep inside, we see the nucleus. So if I grab that and magnify it, I see that the nucleus is itself made of particles, neutrons and protons. And if I grab one of the neutrons and magnify it, I find yet further particles, little tiny quarks inside. Now that is where the conventional ideas stop. String theory comes along and suggests that inside these particles there is something else. So if I take a little quark and I magnify it, conventional idea says there's nothing inside, but string theory says I'll find a little tiny filament, a little filament of energy, a little string-like filament. And just like the string on a violin, I pluck it and it vibrates, creates a little musical note that I can hear. The little strings in string theory, when they vibrate, they don't produce musical notes, they produce the particles themselves. So a quark is nothing but a string vibrating in one pattern. An electron is nothing but a string vibrating in a different pattern. A neutrino, nothing but a string vibrating in a different pattern still. So if I take all of this back together, I have my ordinary orange. And if these ideas are right, they are speculative, but if they are right, deep inside the orange or any other piece of matter, is nothing but a dancing, vibrating cosmic symphony of strings. That's the basic idea of string theory.
If I can only choose one type of entertainment for the rest of my life, it would be music. So for someone like me, the idea of all of existence just being a culmination of basically like a symphony of musical notes coming from strings that create existence, it's just like coolest fucking thing in the world to me. I love it so much.
The universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion, and it is, in and of itself, one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity. According to the theories of Carl Pribram, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, and David Bohm, a physicist at the University of London, the human mind is also a hologram which attunes itself to the universal hologram. Remember that it's not a hologram that's projected externally that you could put your hand through like in movies. It's an internal mental hologram that's solid and interacts with every physical sense, including touch.
Honestly, tell me a more incredible and equally troubling theory than that one.
Videos that make my skin crawl. This man stayed in a suite that he thought was a luxury suite, but what he finds hidden in the bathroom cupboard will make you never want to stay anywhere ever again. I thought hidden cameras in Airbnbs were bad, but this just blows that out of the water. This man was staying at a resort, and his room was one of the nicer rooms available. He starts by showing us into the bathroom. Looks divine. A standalone bath surrounded by clouded glass walls. How perfectly soothing to relax in, right? Not quite. There were a few full-length cupboards in the bathroom, but what he finds in the second one makes me feel sick. There's a trapdoor, but that's not the end of it. This leads to a whole hallway that runs behind the glass walls. Imagine taking a bath with an audience, as if this huge hidden corridor behind the wardrobe wasn't enough. There's yet another trapdoor. This leads to some kind of cellar, dungeon-looking room. What the hell is this? Is this just the layout of an old building? Or is this set up as something more sinister? Why have the trapdoors through the wardrobe from the hall and the dungeon? Who needs to be going into that room from the outside? What do you think this is? Is this normal for hotels?
Well, besides that just being a giant fucking nope from me, I wonder, is that for like service? Because that would be a really strange place to put it, right? Like, I feel like if that was I don't know, some way to get to like a service area, maintenance area, it wouldn't be fucking built into a room through a cupboard, right? Through a fucking closet. That's weird as fuck. So it kind of makes me think, is it just for someone peeping, just being a fucking pervert, or is it for maybe, you know, taking people? And hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully the first fucking case is the real one, where it's just like a poor design for servicing whatever the fuck in the hotel. Maybe there's pipes down there or some shit they gotta access through a fucking closet. I don't know. I know it sounds dumb because it is dumb, and that's definitely not what it's used for. Trying to find the light in the tunnel here, guys. Trying to find the silver lining in this explosive fucking shit show of a fucking situation here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm dumbfounded. That's fucking weird. And no. Nope. No, I just wouldn't be a part of that. If I seen somebody coming through a cupboard while I was in the bathtub, I would probably assume it was something paranormal. And that would scare me more than it being a human, because if it was a human, I'd handle that shit with extreme prejudice. But if it was a fucking ghost, which would be my first thought, oh man, it'd be so much worse, because I think I was fighting something invincible, right? I'd have to fucking give it 100%. I don't know. I'm just rambling now. I'm just rambling. But that's it. That's all. But thanks for watching, guys. That's the end of this video. If this is your first time watching, you made it this far, thank you so much. It's great to have new people. We got so many new people joining the Discord and the membership, and just donating, you know, supporting the channel with like buying the merchandise and just subscribing, sharing. Like, dude, this has literally been the most amazing community I have ever been a part of, and I'm just very thankful to say that I'm part of it. Honestly, you guys are amazing. I want a special shout out to my moderators, to Jaeger and Zombie. You guys are incredible in the Discord, on the live streams, everything. I just want you to know I really appreciate you. I want to make it public because you guys are awesome. You have helped out so much, and you make this so much easier than doing it on my own. So thank you. The rest of the Lucid crew, thank you guys for tuning in and all your support as well. For taking part and sending me video submissions in the Discord. You made it very helpful. Every clip in today's video was a submission from the Lucid crew in the Discord, so thank you so much. It's very helpful and also just very insightful and enlightening, learning new things that I wouldn't even think to search on my own.